All right, folks, we are now live out in California right now, where we are dealing with, you guessed it, a police chase there. I'm joined now by Samia, our go-to person when it comes to where the heck are they at right now?
You're right. We're in Southern California. It looks like these graphics that are coming in from LA really do help as far as our coverage is concerned, as far as knowing where exactly the suspect is traveling. This is in the greater Los Angeles area. You can see he just merged onto the 110 southbound freeway. We believe it's the 110 southbound freeway.
And the only thing that we know about the suspect right now is that the suspect wanted for assault with a deadly weapon. But what I like about this situation is that we're dealing with the graphics right here that is really neat.
Right. So again, this is the 110 freeway southbound. Basically, the suspect is traveling through downtown Los Angeles right now, passing Wilshire Boulevard. Downtown, the high-rises, the big buildings are actually just to the left of the screen here. And to the right, you have much of the greater Los Angeles area. Again, those of you familiar with Southern California, as the suspect continues to travel southbound, you'll be seeing Staples Center on the left-hand side. We probably won't see it from this vantage point, but you can imagine traveling southbound on I-10, that Staples Center is right there to the left of the screen. That's where, you know, the Lakers play, the Clippers play, the LA Kings play. Lots of events happen there. The whole LA Live Entertainment Center is a sort of hot spot as far as activity in downtown Los Angeles.
The suspect there in that white SUV, suspect wanted for assault with a deadly weapon. I am joined by Samia Khan up here as we are continuing our coverage here. As like we always like to say, during these times, your discretion heavily advised. We just don't know how this thing's going to wrap up. But
Right.
You continue to watch.
Right, and you can see that the suspect is traveling about 85 miles per hour. He just passed the Interstate 10 interchange where the 110 and the 10 meet. He is approaching the area of Adams Boulevard, and for those of you familiar with this part of Southern California, he's just approaching the USC area, University of Southern California, my alma mater, so I'm very familiar with this part of the freeway. He is continuing to travel southbound Interstate 110. He just went under the Adams Figueroa exit, and he will be approaching Exposition Boulevard momentarily. So there's Adams there.
Now, as I watch we watch so many chases here on the News Now stream where I'm just like, you know, all the time these suspects. Oh, look at that! they always get caught or they always crash, and it's always putting so many people at risk. I'm like, why do you do this? And it's just like, I don't understand sometimes, you know.
No, absolutely. It's one of those things when you're on the freeway, every time I'm in LA, I wonder, am I actually driving by someone that's being pursued and I just don't know it?
That's true.
Because it does seem like a majority of the chases that we cover come out of Southern California. So there's Exposition Boulevard, that's 37th Street, right on over to the right-hand side. You can see right there is the Tuscany apartment complex. And right to the other side of that is actually the Coliseum, Exposition Park. That's where
that's where the space shuttle's at.
And that's where the Los Angeles Rams play, as well as obviously the USC Trojans. A lot of football played there.
Wow, that was a quick response there. He didn't know if he was going to get onto that shoulder area, and then he veered right really quick there. Wow, that was almost an accident right there that we witnessed there. But the pursuit continues on. You're part of the Fox 10 and News Now stream, and all our viewers watching on Fox 10 Phoenix Facebook Live.
Right, so now the suspect in the South LA area, what some people refer to as South Central, continuing to travel southbound on Interstate 110. If he continues on I-10, it's possible he could take the 91 freeway that would take him into Compton. It's possible that he could take the 105 freeway that would take him into LAX. There are a handful of freeways that are coming up on southbound Interstate 110. And You know, he may not take any of the freeway exits. He may not take the 91 or the 105. You can also get on the 405. He may just continue southbound. The thing about the 110, though, is it eventually ends in San Pedro. You eventually hit the ocean there. So eventually he will have to
What scares
get off
me,
the freeway.
yeah, what scares me is when they do go off the freeway, because then they go down these residential streets and they're still going like 70, 80, and that is when so many bad things can happen. I mean, you could have children there in the streets, you could have people getting hit. There's just so many different variables then when they start going on those residential streets. So I think that's the time that we always have to say that viewer discretion heavily advised there.
Again, like Mike said, viewer discretion is advised. If you guys want to share your thoughts on this chase, you can always tweet us.
Now, why do you think they have this angle right here from the chopper? Why do we have this angle here?
Well, my guess would be that, again, as you travel southbound on Interstate 110, on the other side you have LAX.
Okay, so we're in a flight zone here.
Possibly. I don't want to say that is why, but I would assume that on the other side of the freeway, that is the direction of LAX, on the other side of the 110. So perhaps the chopper pilot is taking precautions and staying to the left of the freeway.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like we almost have just a totally different chopper right now because we don't have the overlay right now.
Right.
We do not have the overlay of our graphics here telling us how, how fast, where it's at now. But it looks like he's really cruising now.
Yeah, he's picking up speed.
Oh,
I would say that
boy.
It looks like he might be even going 100 miles per hour at this point. He's going so much faster than other people on the freeway. And I want to say that the speed limit here on the 110 is about 65 miles per hour. And again, it's Los Angeles, so no one really does follow the speed limit. So if you assume that the other cars traveling on this freeway are going around 70, 75, I would say that it's safe to assume that this suspect is now reaching speeds of 100 miles per hour.
And you can see there the police keeping a good eye on them as they are not far behind. They're trying to keep it as close as they can. Obviously, they can't do any pit maneuvers in this area. There's just too many people there on the freeway. But we'll continue to keep watching here. You're part of the stream. You're part of the pursuit now. We do cover so many, it just seems so many police chases in any given month, anywhere from about 4 to 5, and you never know when it's going to happen. So we always say, keep watching the stream, everybody. We do stream Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., giving you about 12 hours of non-stop coverage right here.
Again, for those of you just joining us, this is specifically in Southern California, the Los Angeles area, still actually in the LA city limits. It seems like the suspect traveling southbound on Interstate 110. Again,
I do not like this vantage point.
The chopper is keeping a distance, but as the suspect continues to travel southbound on Interstate 10, it's possible that the chopper will then shift and we'll get a better vantage point of where exactly the suspect is. Now, it looks like that is possibly the 105 interchange or the 91 interchange. It's hard to tell at this point what we just passed.
I think the chopper lost him.
It's possible that the chopper lost him.
Yeah, I think, folks, for those of you maybe just joining us here, it looked like that chopper, once they got into all those different exchanges, that could have lost him. Let's see here if you could find him here. You know, it's hard to try to catch a suspect this way from this vantage point, having this, you're not on top of him. You're like a mile away. Mm-hmm. So we don't see this too often, everybody, where the chopper will actually lose the chase. And it looks like we got it back on as, and there we go. Here's our overlay as well. It's back. All right.
So it looks like the suspect's still on the 110 freeway traveling southbound.
And there goes the overlay. So sometimes it comes, sometimes it goes, but you know what? We stay with you.
Right, and according to local media there in Los Angeles, this is a road rage suspect.
Yeah, because he is, it started with the probably a road rage, and now he's wanted for that assault with a deadly weapon, and now we're seeing those speeds climb, everyone. As it got up to 100 miles per hour there, and we'll continue to follow here. Oh, it's always such a such a fluid situation that we're watching that at any moment something can happen.
Well, what's interesting also is that the suspect is traveling in the carpool lane there in Los Angeles. And for those of you here in the greater Phoenix area, the carpool lane works only, during certain hours here in Arizona. But in LA, the carpool lane exists at all times. And it's something where if you cross double yellow lines, you can be fined for it. So there are only certain entry and exit points. At this point, though, he's a suspect, so he's not really following
I
any
don't
of the
think he's
laws.
too worried about the rules of the road right now. I don't think he has that pamphlet out right now looking at the rules. But we'll continue to monitor here. I'm just hoping that this ends peacefully, that no one is injured, and that the police there stay safe.
So what's interesting now is that he's passing the 405 interchange here, and that is the last real major interchange off of the 110 freeway. Then you really do get into that San Pedro territory. And again, San Pedro is a port in Los Angeles. That is where the Pacific Ocean is. So again, the suspect's still traveling in the far left lane on Interstate 110. After the 405, there really aren't a lot of exits you can take.
So many people ask me during these chases, like, they want me to throw out a prediction of how long do you think this might last, and I always say, well, it depends. There's a couple factors that you got to look at for these chases when it comes to how much time you think this is going to take. One, well, how much gas does the guy have? You always got to consider that, and how reckless is the driver. And right now we haven't been seeing him do too many reckless things. He's not too crazy there on the road. So if he does have enough gas there, we could see this probably go for another hour, because he's not taking too many risks where I'm like, sometimes with these chases you see so many different calculated risks where you're like, well, this is going to probably end in about 5 to 10.
Right. But he's traveling pretty much like a regular driver would travel on Interstate 110, other than obviously the high speeds that we see from time to time. But as you can see, he's slowed down now. He's traveling at speeds about 68, 70 miles per hour, going in and out of that carpool lane on Interstate 110 southbound. He's now in the area of Carson. So for those of you familiar with Southern California, with the greater LA area, he's now in Carson, and he's continuing to travel southbound on Interstate 10. But again, Interstate 110. So again, I want to reiterate that the 110 does end soon. It's not a freeway like Interstate 5 that takes you from Mexico to Canada. So
do you think he will get off on a residential area, or?
Well, inevitably, he would either have to exit, switch on to, the California Route 1 highway, also known as the Pacific Coast Highway, or he may, just get into the residential area of San Pedro. It's possible if he takes Route 1, he could get into the area of Long Beach. So obviously he's not going to just keep traveling southbound. If you keep traveling southbound, you're going to hit the Pacific Ocean.
Yes, and I just want to also welcome our Fox 10 viewers. I know a lot of you are just coming into the stream right now because you've been watching it on Fox 10 News at noon. So thank you for coming on in and wanting to see how this is all going to end. We haven't seen the suspect drive too erratically other than high speed limits, but he's not going in and out of lanes. So if he has enough gas here, this could potentially last for another hour, because at this point, there's going to be no time to do a pit maneuver when there's that many people there on the roadways. So we could see this for a while, everyone. You're part of the Fox 10 and News Now stream. I always wonder, at this point, what is the suspect thinking? Because you figure you got multiple choppers up there, news choppers, then you have no doubt a chopper from the police that are watching high above as well. A lot of the times I like to say that these suspects are really just trying to extend their last moments of freedom. If they could go another 40, if they could go another hour before getting caught, that's what they're looking for, because they know eventually they're going to get caught. And when you throw in just how selfish they are as well, look at how many lives are being put at risk right now. Not just the other people there on the roadways, but the police and everyone that has to put up resources for this. It's very selfish right now what the suspect is doing, and you see him going into another lane there as we continue to watch this police chase here in the LA area. Suspect wanted for a road rage incident with the assault with a deadly weapon. Continuing to follow live. Thanks to everybody on Fox 10 News Now, part of Fox10Phoenix.com, and everyone watching on Facebook Live as well, and all the Fox 10 News viewers from our show at noon. That is still currently going on right now. Okay, now it looks like he's getting off here, Samia.
Like I said, he couldn't really travel much further on Interstate 110.
You pinned it right there. Now, let's see. We're going to go in a little bit more residential here.
So he was on Figueroa Place, now turned right on Anaheim Street.
Now, this is where you got to almost look at this now from a point of when he's going to be rolling through these red lights, that is when we're going to get risk levels going up dramatically. When they go through those intersections, that is the biggest time that we could see a wreck. So viewer discretion heavily advised during this point.
And for those of you wondering where in Southern California he is in this small community of Harbor City. He is traveling westbound now, traveling westbound towards Lomita and into that South Bay area of Los Angeles, the Torrance area. Hasn't quite reached Torrance yet, as he is currently traveling on Anaheim Street in the area of Harbor City.
And there we go for our first intersection look to see how he handled it. He waited to see. He didn't just run right through it. Now he took that right. Thanks to all our viewers right now that are watching live with us. If you're part of the stream, let us know where you are watching from. We have so many people all across the country watching live with us, and even across the world right now. Our one big viewer, Chris Lee, always joining us from England.
Right, Chris Lee, always tweeting us. We appreciate you tuning in. So what's interesting to note about the suspect is, for a while he was steadily cruising on, the 110 freeway, and now it looks like he doesn't want to stay on one road for very long before turning again. So he was on Vermont briefly before making a turn. He's now on
see what
Normandy.
I see. Yep. Good observation there. Yeah, that is interesting. Now he's doing a little bit more calculated risks here. We're going to see how this is all going to eventually come to an end, and we're hoping that it's just going to be a pullover situation ending peacefully with an arrest. But you just never know, and that's why we always ask you, if it doesn't matter if you came from the beginning, the middle, you guaranteed you always stay to the end. All right, a little bit more traffic here at a red light situation. Let's see what happens. He's going to try to get through right. He's squeezing by that one car, letting him in there.
Yeah, he does not want to wait. No patience at all. So he was on Normandy. He was traveling northbound on Normandy. He just made a left on Lomita Boulevard, so he would be traveling westbound now.
Okay, now he's coming into oncoming traffic. Now darts back into the median there. That is our first big risk that we have seen from this suspect there. That was
getting a bit erratic.
Yeah, that's erratic now. So okay, now we go a little construction zone as well.
And viewers who want to comment on this chase, you can tweet me, Samia Fox10, SAMIA, or Mike Page Fox10. You can find us on Twitter. I'm getting a tweet from one of our viewers, Mr. Ned Flanders, who's tuning in from Muncie, Indiana, watching live via our YouTube stream. We appreciate you, Ned Flanders. I'm assuming that's not your real name.
But we do appreciate that Fox reference.
We do. The Simpsons, a great show.
All right, now going back onto a little oncoming traffic here as he had that red light and did not want to be caught in that traffic there. Continuing to follow live here for you to all our viewers right now on Fox10Phoenix.com, Facebook Live. We are continuing to watch, and thanks to so many people saying where you guys are watching from. We got Ohio, Pennsylvania, Florida, Texas, North Dakota, so many.
And, of course, our international viewers as well. We don't want to forget you.
No.
So now he's traveling northbound once again on Western Avenue. And Western Avenue is a pretty major thoroughfare there in Los Angeles. If he continues to travel northbound on Western, he could get all the way from, this southern area of Carson and Torrance all the way up to Hollywood, really, if he tried. I mean, Western just continues to really cut through the entire greater Los Angeles region.
Now this is the first time that we're doing this chase that we have that nice graphic overlay that's telling us the speed right now. That is really interesting.
Gotta love 2017, that technology.
It's a new dynamic, and I think what the next big technology move will be is when OnStar can then show us his gas gauge. That would be huge, because then we would know exactly, okay, how much gas does this person have? I think if they want to go to a next level, that could be it.
Possibly. I do want to also give a shout out to our viewer, Angry Ninja, saying, as always, I'm watching from Atlanta.
Okay, and you got a brand new stadium there in Atlanta for Friday for opening day there for the Braves. Looks beautiful.
There, Mike chiming in with his baseball expertise. He's our resident baseball expert here on News Now.
Yes. All right, continuing to see here, and if you're going to use a baseball reference, how many, what's the guy's count here before he gets to 3 strikes? I don't know. It looks like he has a solid 2-2 count here.
Right. So as you saw, the suspect did not choose to continue traveling northbound on Western.
Now he's on that median again, everyone.
He did switch on over to Sepulveda. He's traveling.
He got a straightaway.
On Sepulveda now.
He has a solid straightaway, so the speed really going up high, almost 100 miles per hour there on that median. And it could get a little dicey here as we got more traffic. And some people in the chat have been saying, okay, he was at that one red light a couple of minutes ago. Why did that one person give him room to get through? And if I would do the same thing if I was I wouldn't want my car getting hit.
Right. If you notice a threat, you're probably going to
I'm not going to be
out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to do that. All right, coming up here again.
So now the suspect is back in that area of Carson, California. He's traveling eastbound. Looks like he's about to pass the 110 freeway, unless he chooses to get on the 110 freeway. Nope, looks like he just drove under that 110 freeway, unless he's getting back on, and yeah, we called it. Looks like he is choosing to get back onto the freeway. That is now the 110 northbound freeway.
And here we go, back on the freeway, everyone. The pursuit still going on. If you're just joining us, welcome to the Fox 10 News Now stream. I'm Mike Pace, joined by Samia Khan here, and we're continuing to follow live where at any moment, at any time, something can happen.
That's right, Mike. Again, viewer discretion is advised. He is traveling at a high rate of speed. Looks like he's approaching speeds of 100 miles per hour. He's about to hit 100 there on that freeway, the 110 freeway. He's now traveling northbound. So what this means is if he continues going north on the 110, he'll eventually get back into that downtown Los Angeles area.
Okay.
And typically that area of the 110, no matter what time of day it is, it gets a little congested. So I don't think, you can really get away necessarily with traveling at speeds of 100 miles per hour once you start approaching downtown Los Angeles.
Sure. And, they say so many of the suspects, they want to kind of stay around an area that they know. They don't want to try too much to go somewhere in an area where they might hit a dead end, especially when they start getting in that residential area. They always like to usually stay in an area that they're pretty comfortable in.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much, as far as our coverage is concerned, he's pretty much stayed on the 110 freeway. We know that this chase started in the area of San Gabriel. That is my understanding. That this pursuit started in the area of San Gabriel. It was a road rage situation where the suspect apparently wanted in connection with assault with a deadly weapon.
And there we go. Now the speed's really cranking up again, going higher than above the 100 miles per hour mark. When he gets those straightaways, he definitely does crank it up higher. And now that we're not in a residential area there, he can really hit that gas pedal.
Right.
Where the risks continue to go up.
Right, Mike. And we do want to just acknowledge all of our viewers tuning in. We appreciate everyone who is just joining us. I want to give a few shout-outs to some of our viewers that have been tweeting us. Stephen Musselman saying that he's watching this car chase from Michigan on his day off. Chris Lee chiming in from South Carolina. You have Mr. Ned Flanders saying it would actually be great if OnStar could actually shut the car off. I mean, perhaps in 2018. We're also getting a comment from JJ Keith, also watching from South Carolina. I wonder if JJ Keith and Chris Lee are both watching from South Carolina together. Maybe they're friends.
Yeah, that's a possibility there. And I want to also thank some new viewers here that just came from Fox 10 News at noon. I see that they just did another live update there as well, and now you want to see how this is all going to end. Welcome to the stream. We do stream Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., so always try to check us out, especially when there's some sort of breaking news. We have no commercials. We don't dart out of coverage there. We'll watch this till the very end, or as long as the chopper has gas. We've had a couple of those chases where, unfortunately, we didn't get to see the end because, well, chopper needed to refuel.
Right. So the question is, will the suspect outrun us?
You never know. You never know here, but we'll continue to watch live here as we have another chase there in the LA area with this white SUV. And police have been doing a good job of keeping really close, but not getting too close.
Right. And I just want to update the viewers who, have been following along. Previously, we said that the suspect was traveling towards downtown Los Angeles. It appears that he has now changed freeways.
Wow.
Yeah, he got onto the 91 freeway traveling eastbound. That would be basically the Compton area. And it looks like he has just now exited off of the 91 freeway there.
And now back on.
And perhaps he's just trying to evade police any way he can.
Yeah, he might have realized that once again he's getting in that residential area where it's not too conducive to police chases there, and now he has a little bit more open room here and could hit the speed targets there closer to 100 miles per hour. Almost coming in contact with that police cruiser there. I thought for a moment they were going to hit him. Okay, we have another cruiser right behind, really darting up close. This is about the closest that we've seen the police there on the tail of that suspect for this chase here. We've been covering this chase now for the last 35 minutes here on the stream.
And what's interesting is, I don't know if we've gotten to this point in the on Interstate 91 yet, but on Interstate 91, as you pass the 710 freeway, there's actually a crash there. On the eastbound freeway. I'm just looking at the Google map right now. And we do know that the suspect is traveling eastbound on 91 from the 110. I don't think he has passed the 710 freeway. However, right after you pass the 710 freeway, there is a bit of a slowdown there on the 91 freeway because of a crash there. Again, we appreciate everyone tuning in, everyone that's tweeting us. You can find us on Twitter.
Sammy, I would really wish we had a fuel gauge here just to see how much more fuel this guy has. I think that would be such a great component that could be added to this, but right now we're continuing to watch live here for you. Thanks to so many viewers from across the country and across the world right now tuning in. You could watch on your smartphone, you could watch on your TV, you could watch on your, really any way that you consume media. We've got you covered. And we've been following this chase now last 35 to 40 minutes with this white SUV. There was a couple of times where that driver became really erratic, but for the most part, when he's on the freeway here, we haven't seen too many risks, so that's a good thing for all those drivers there on the freeway, where a lot of the times they don't even know a chase is going on. It happens so fast that this you just see a car that's just going at a high rate of speed, and you're like, oh, could that be a chase? And then you see the police, and you probably maybe see a chopper as well, and then you put two and two together.
So still traveling eastbound on the 91 freeway at a very high rate of speed. Again, traveling much faster than other vehicles
Yeah.
on that freeway. Looks like he's just passing the 710 exit, and this is actually the area where we do expect a
That construction
slowdown.
zone?
Well, it's not a construction zone. There were reports of a crash, at least according to Google Maps. Here's the thing, though. He's traveling in the far left lane, the carpool lane. So obviously, our guess is that, you know, he's breaking the law there. He doesn't have a carpool passenger, but at this point, he's not really concerned about the law, right?
No.
But you can see that there is a huge slowdown on the freeway. This is the slowdown we were talking about just minutes ago.
There you go.
There was a crash reported on the 91 eastbound right after you pass the 710 freeway. You can see the rest of the freeway pretty slow, but for the most part, the suspect's staying in the spoke too soon. Looks like he wants to.
Okay, now it's going to get a little interesting here. We got a lot more traffic. He's going to have to go in and out of these cars here.
Right, and for those of you familiar with the Southern California area, this is on the 91 around the areas of Paramount, Lakewood, Bellflower. We just went through the Compton part of the 91 freeway, and if he keeps going in this direction, he'll eventually hit Anaheim, best known for Disneyland. Mike?
Ooh, okay, they're just going from the far left to the far right lanes there in just a matter of seconds there. You'd see the police cruiser there right behind him. As we're getting into more and more traffic right now, as Samia was saying that there was some sort of crash here that is really tying up traffic here. Now we are going to say always viewer discretion is advised. We don't know what that suspect is going to do at this moment, but he continues to look like he's going to try to dart in and out.
Just trying to evade police.
And it's interesting to see if that cruiser, do you think, would maybe want to tap there on the back bumper, but too many vehicles there to do a pit maneuver probably.
Right, it's just too dangerous. This, especially
and look at the
stay on the
speeds.
freeway. It's just dangerous. You have so many other cars there. You really want to be. You have to take into consideration the other drivers there on the road. I do want to go ahead and check in with a lot of our viewers tuning in. Some of them have tweeted me. One of our viewers, Sam, who goes by the username Bogman148, saying that it is a great stream, tuning in every time there's a police chase, and adding that the street names and road numbers on the stream, it's a new technology, it's a great addition.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time that we've been able to do that, and I think that's just really amazing that you could not only see the estimated speed there, but also where exactly this is all happening. So awesome technology there being used to really bring home these police chases to everyone across the country and world that are watching.
Right. I'm still so entertained that we have multiple people named Chris Lee watching. I'm getting tweets from both Chris Lees. Chris Lee, the one in the UK, saying, watching the chase on one screen and playing my PS4 on the other. And Chris McCormick, another Chris, not Chris Lee, Chris McCormick, saying that he's watching from Maine. Luckily for the cops, this isn't like the Dusty Chase. Hashtag Dusty Chase.
Oh, that's a great reference to one of the chases that we had
months ago.
Months ago there. Wow.
One of the legendary Southern California chases. We've had the Big Rig chase. We've had the Dusty chase. We've had a lot of chases. We've covered a lot of them here on News Now. We appreciate everyone who tunes in regularly to catch our commentary during these Southern California police chases.
And when you look back at all the different sorts of chases, it doesn't matter if it's in LA or Texas or even here in Arizona, you gotta say the one thing that really the common thread with all these suspects, if you're going to really put it all together, they're wild cards.
Right, you don't know what's going on in their mind. Some people are already, at that point, suicidal. They're willing to take any sort of risk. And other people, sometimes they're just trying to escape and make phone calls before they get arrested. Make their final calls, speak to some people. So, each and every chase situation really is different, Mike. Yeah,
and especially with what the suspect right now is wanted for, he could still have a gun inside that vehicle, and that's why police really taking it cautious there, because they know eventually if this is going to end in a crash or just a pullover because no more gas. But then what's the next step? Is there going to be then a long holdout before we have the suspect come out? And, you know, if a gun is now part of the scenario, now it's going to be a long process.
You got to take the necessary precautions when a suspect is armed. Obviously, you need to take precautions all the time, but especially when you already know that the suspect is armed. Obviously, the suspect is wanted for assaults with a deadly weapon. So they're taking the necessary steps to make sure that everyone is safe. You know, there have been pursuits where they've chased suspects for 3 hours. So, you know, this could end soon. This might not end soon. I do want to check in with our viewers once again. A lot of people tweeting us from all over the world. Deplorable Glenn tweeting us, hello from Regina, Canada. Killa Connor saying that he's watching with his friend Steven. They hope it ends well for everyone. I also want to give a shout out to someone who tweeted me about 10 minutes ago, Brian Sargent, who's viewing this car chase, tuning in on YouTube all the way from Roseburg, Oregon.
That's awesome. That is awesome. And for everyone maybe just joining us here, welcome to the stream. We've been having this for the last 40 to 45 minutes, and it doesn't look like this is going to be stopping anytime soon either, Samia.
Right. So again, this is the eastbound 91 freeway. It's not an official interstate. It's just a traditional highway, California State Highway. This is eastbound 91 in the area of Artesia in Los Angeles County. But as you continue to travel eastbound on 91, he's about to actually enter Orange County, the Orange County area of Anaheim. Now, if he approaches that area, he will eventually have to switch onto another freeway, either Interstate 5.
Oh, okay. Really darting off now. Getting off. Ooh. And that looks like it's, yep. And that is going to be a crash there. Viewer discretion is advised, everyone, just in case what happens next.
So again, this chase ending right there in the Artesia Cerritos area, Los Angeles County, right off of the 91 freeway.
All right, so suspect there still in the car there. As we saw, the high rate of speed is what ultimately did him in as he tried to get off too quickly and then wiped out right there. Let's see what happens next. Can't reiterate more than enough, folks, that viewer discretion heavily advised during this situation.
The suspect is armed, and it looks like, I mean, the back door is opening, so either the suspect crawled to the back or there's another person inside that vehicle.
Yes.
At least another person.
So this could be sometimes maybe a long holdout, or it could just, okay, looks like we have some movement there in the back. Okay, look at, this is very high risk here. It doesn't look at right now. Is he going to try to run in the back there? Let's see. Yeah.
Get back inside the vehicle.
Okay, now back in the vehicle. Interesting.
Very interesting, Mike.
Because that was from the back seat, everyone. Okay, we just went black just a little bit there, but it was just zooming in. We can't see, it's tinted too much there. But that suspect did get out from the back seat and then peered over around that car to look at the police. Okay, now the driver side door just opened and then swung back out. I wonder if that driver is going to maybe see if the car is operational and try to maybe go at it again. I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
It doesn't
very puzzling right now, Mike.
It seems like it would still, at this point, it would still be operational, the car.
Right, it's still possibly functioning. Does he decide that he wants to make another run for it? We'll have to wait and see. I do want to check in with all of our viewers. We are getting viewer tweets, Mike, from all over the country right now.
Yeah.
Not only the country, but the world. I'm getting a tweet from Poland.
Okay, wait, like, I just want to, we just got some more movement here from the car.
But instead crawling out of the window,
yeah, so
not wanting to open the door, now running through
now on
the
the run here. Okay, now the suspect on the run. Not sure why he got out through the window, but okay, now we have a foot chase here now that is going to be happening. So let's continue to watch. Viewer discretion heavily advised, everyone, and if it gets to a point where we might have to get out, we will. We can't see too much with that tree right there. It's very hard angle here.
You can see the authorities.
Still can't see much here with that shadow.
Let's go ahead and drop the lower third for just a second.
All right, dropping that lower third for everyone.
And again, we appreciate everyone tuning in on Facebook Live as well as YouTube. More than 10,000 people tuning in on YouTube. Many more tuning in on Facebook.
Now, here's the thing. Did the suspect scale that wall? Or do they have him here? It's so hard to see from this angle, everyone. I know that we're trying to bring you what exactly is happening, but seems like they got him down.
Right. At that point, well, I mean, what is really going on through the suspect's mind? You're not even in a residential area where you have many places to hide.
And there we go, a successful takedown, everyone.
Right. So the suspect apprehended.
Once again, a great job by the police to always following right behind and staying persistent, and also just waiting for. It was like almost a chess match where they were waiting for a bad move, and they saw the bad move happen with the suspect was going at too high of a rate of speed there, and then eventually crashed. And now we have seen an arrest.
Yes, this man was arrested. He looks like he's relatively younger.
Yeah, but we'll hear more in the coming hours of. It's
interesting also to see. You can see his head moving. You can see that he's clearly speaking and communicating with officers as if he's telling the officers.
So we had two there. It looks like. No, just one. That was
one suspect.
Yep.
Yeah.
They did have the canine there as well.
But is it just me, or does it look like the suspect is saying something and he just keeps moving his head?
Well, yeah, he could be mouthing off. He could be saying anything. He could be rambling. We don't know if he's on drugs or anything.
We don't really know anything. You're right. He's complying, but it almost feels like he's resisting a little bit.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Again, viewer discretion is advised. This still is a live situation involving individuals that are armed. So, again, we advise viewers to watch with caution.
And, Sami, I've still never seen a suspect get out of a window of a car.
Yeah, that is the first time we've seen a suspect, at least in, as far as I can tell in recent months, where a suspect has decided to jump through the window. The question is why? Maybe he thought that the authorities wouldn't see if he jumped through the window.
Yeah, very interesting there.
Again, this is the tail end of that police pursuit, a pursuit that we covered for almost an hour here on News Now, with tens of thousands of you guys watching in from all over the country and all over the world. JJ Keith saying, what an ending. Glad it ended safely. One of our other viewers, Simmers with the C, saying, hey, Samia, I'm watching from Italy. Meanwhile, John tuning in from Denmark, and Helicopter tuning in from Stockholm, Sweden.
So, yeah, definitely an international audience as we watch that takedown live. A little bit, we'll show you the replay of the crash that happened to get that suspect to ultimately be in police custody now.
Right, so if you're just joining us, you didn't see the tail end of the police chase, we will replay that for you here on News Now. And actually at 1 o'clock, so in about 17 minutes, we do have a press conference from President Trump.
Oh, yeah. A lot coming up here. So if you're maybe just new to the stream, you could continue watching all day with us as we'll be with you.
Right, Mike. And we do want to reiterate to those viewers who are watching us for the first time, if you're watching on Facebook, hit that like button. That way you'll know whenever we go live with breaking news like a police chase. And if you're tuning in to YouTube, of course, we encourage you to hit that subscribe button.
There we go.
We are streaming Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Arizona time. Sometimes we start early, sometimes we stay late, depending on breaking news situations. We may even be here 24 hours, Mike.
Yes, that is very key there. And, sometimes Mary Kate has those late night chases as well.
That's right. A lot of chases do happen in the evening, so you really do want to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of those chases. I do feel bad. I do want to give out some more shout outs because so many of our viewers have been tweeting us, telling us where they've been tuning in from. We have Charlotte tuning in from England. I have another viewer, Jagup, who's watching from Estonia and playing Grand Theft Auto 5 at the same time.
Well, that was some inspiration, huh?
I know.
Maybe getting a little inspiration there.
And Chris Lee chiming in saying, good to see a peaceful end to this chase. A little confused with the window exit, but glad no shots were fired. That is the Chris Lee that's watching from the UK.
Oh, nice.
Because, again, as you know, we have a couple Chris Lees tuning in around the world.
And I do want to show you, everybody, we'll keep this shot here. You can see the local news operations there as well, just getting to the scene. They'll be covering that on their local news. I do want to show you there, the top right corner of your screen now. That is going to be
the replay.
The replay of that crash that happened.
I also want to acknowledge our viewer, Killa Connor, throwing in a joke here, one that everyone can get a good laugh at. I think the SUV was overbooked and he got removed through the window by staff.
Oh.
Killa Connor.
And there we go. And it looks like Chopper is going to be leaving the scene there, as maybe they didn't have much gas anyway there.
Right, so at that point, the scene is pretty much wrapped up. But for those of you just joining us, we are going to show you the replay now in full. This is a replay of that police pursuit and how it ended. One more shout out to our viewer, Bravik Ree, who says, glad it ended without anybody hurt. Your police chase coverage is always top notch. We do appreciate that, Mike, all the viewers that tune in with us regularly whenever there's a chase.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those where it's like you're going to watch from the beginning or the middle. If you maybe come near the end, you're always going to watch the end. Mm-hmm. And there was this where he got off there, but it was going too high rate of a speed and couldn't overcorrect, and then crashes there. And that was a takedown. But let's also watch, though, some weird movements by that suspect. First getting out the back end of the back seat there.
It was a very weird ending, right, Mike?
Yeah, instead of just running, like, immediately out of the gate like they normally do. Like when
right, the suspect was almost caught off guard, like he wasn't expecting to crash there. He was just like, oh, crap, what do I do now?
Yeah, that's true.
And I know some of you asking what our Twitter handles are, some of you wondering how you can reach out to me and Mike. You can find me, Samia Fox10, that's S-A-M-I-A. And you can find Mike Paish Fox10, that's Paish as in P-A-C-H-E.
Beautiful. And look at this. Okay, so that suspect there gets out in the back, and you know so the door's open, but then we're going to see him go back in, and then closes the door, and then comes back out through the window. So now that suspect getting back in that vehicle, and we're wondering, okay, at this moment, was he going to maybe try to start up the car again? Maybe go for another... Look at that. And then the driver door opens, but then slams shut. So you're thinking, okay, now is he going to try to go again on the roadways there? Very, very bizarre. But you know what? With a suspect, like we were saying, Samia, with a wild card, you don't know what these people are going to do. They're normally not acting in the right realm of reality. So you're seeing things like going through a window compared to maybe just opening the door and try to make a run for it. But great job again by the police as they were able to do another successful takedown. No shots fired. It ended peacefully with the suspect now going to jail, and then, look at this, coming out the window. Very weird. and all the police stayed safe, as well as all the people on the roadways there. So many that suspect passed and sometimes got close to hitting but never did. So that's a good thing as well. You can see there, suspect was on that run, and then we lost track of him a little because of that tree, but I don't know if he tried to scale that wall right behind, but he eventually never did, though, because they were able to take him down. For those of you just joining us here, we're just showing you that replay of the takedown with this chase that lasted close to an hour almost there in LA. That suspect wanted for in connection with assault with a deadly weapon in a road rage incident. And you're seeing that takedown there live. And right now we lost the chopper feed as well, so it's a good thing that this thing wrapped up pretty quickly, because it didn't seem like Chopper was going to be hanging around too much.
Right. It looks like the chopper needed to refuel. And on our end, it's good that it wrapped up, because at 1 o'clock we do have a President Trump press conference. So there's that too. Let's go ahead and replay this for our viewers once more so viewers can see maybe the last 10 minutes of this chase.
Okay. Will do.
And I am going to check in with our viewers once again. Kevin Freeman tweeting me, great commentary and knowledge of the LA area. Is there a documentary that talks to chase suspects? Might be a great idea for one.
Hey, that's actually
a great idea, Kevin.
That's actually a great documentary idea.
Right. I would watch that. Of course, we would watch that documentary.
Oh, sure. We might be featured. Our voices might be featured.
You're right.
In that.
One of our chases may get a cameo in that doc. Shout outs to one of our regular viewers, S. Schultz, who said, Sami and Mike, great coverage. Watching at work, I'm being naughty. Some people supposed to be working at work, watching car chases instead. We're lucky because this counts as our work, Mike.
Yes, yeah. So we could always be part of the police chases there for you. Yeah, it's one of those things, like if you're watching at work, you're not going to be getting a lot of work done because you want to see, okay, how's it going to end? It's sort of like watching, working while March Madness is on.
Yeah, I once in a while looked at Mike's computer. He was checking out his bracket during work.
Yeah, you got to always just maintain some sort of little sports there.
Shout-outs to Parker tuning in from Melbourne, Australia. And Maiko just checking in, tuning in from Zimbabwe, just missed the chase. Well, you're in luck because we're replaying the end for you, Maiko. And Tech Jensen throwing in a joke about why the suspect climbed through the window in the back. Here is Tech's idea. He climbed in the back seat, not knowing the child locks were on. He would have gotten away if it weren't for those darn kids.
Oh, yeah. I just never seen that where he suspect go first. I could see if one thing if like the door was jammed or something and you couldn't get out, but he opened the door, got out, then went back in, only to go out the window then.
Yeah, it was a very peculiar, a very odd scene to see. Wow, one of our viewers, Udav Krishna, it's late in India. He's tuning in over there.
Awesome.
It's a late night there. Saying, glad to see the situation's under control. Great job by the cops. You were saying the same thing.
Yeah, that was another great takedown there as they stayed right behind but didn't get too close to the suspect. A lot of the times, people ask, well, where are the cops? We don't see the cops. Where are they even there? And they're believe me, they're watching from a distance. You don't want to get too close to that suspect and have him start doing really erratic things, getting scared, maybe, doing a little bit more riskier behavior.
Right.
So, they got their eyes on him. Believe me, they were not only just in their patrol cars either.
Right.
There was, other vehicles there that were police.
These officers are pros. I mean, they cover police chases every day, especially those officers in Southern California.
Yeah.
I feel like they probably have special training just for police chases
I bet.
specifically.
Yeah, they get the reps in there for sure.
And I just want to give a few more viewer shout-outs. Jackals tuning in from Namibia in Africa. Stone tuning in from Indianapolis.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, we have people from all over the country tuning in. And I really like Stone's suggestion. You need a greatest hits compilation.
Oh, okay. And look at that.
Greatest police chase hits.
Yeah, that's interesting too. That would be something that would do really well as well. Kind of give you the top 5, maybe top 10 that we've covered there. And you just saw, as we are re-racking that tape to show you, as the suspect there wiping out, going too fast, trying to overcorrect, and doesn't work out there. You're going to see a very kind of strange way to get out of a car in just a little bit, everyone.
It's what we've been talking about the last few minutes.
Yes.
Quite a interesting escape. Attempted escape,
Attempted
I should say.
escape, yeah.
He didn't get too far.
But at that moment, it's like...
I mean, the suspect's in that vehicle. He's not opening the door. He doesn't want to surrender at this point.
Mm-hmm.
He realizes that he's crashed. He's in this ditch. He's surrounded by officers, but still doesn't want to just peacefully surrender at this point.
Yeah. I always say that there's 2 types of suspects dealing with pursuits. You got the one suspect that is going to use his vehicle as a way of just trying to get away, like we've seen with this one, and really doesn't want to run that much like we've seen with that suspect. Or you have another suspect that is using their car to try to maybe getting in a residential area where they feel that they can ditch out of the car and make a run for it. So you almost have 2 types of suspects when it comes to police chases. When it depends on, okay, are we going to have a runner, or are we just going to have someone that wants to be behind the wheel all the time? All right, everybody. Welcome to the Fox 10 and News Now stream. It's 1 o'clock here in Arizona, 4 o'clock out on the East Coast. Coming up next, Sami is going to be with you for the next 2 hours. Going to be now transitioning to a President Trump event from the